That's it. The screensaver mode for an event. Wow, we broke the budget there.
Yeah.
Right,
What do you want, Drew? Jeez.
I want to start the show.
Sheesh. Ugh, so picky.
Start the show already. God.
We can never make you happy.
Just press the button, Leo.
The button. That big shiny red button?
It's a red button now.
Oh my God, I'm working with some Muppets. Start the show.
It's on my screen. It's red.
It's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights.
Time to get...
Is the one obvious thing.
The splash page. The host, the Leo, the Jargon, the me, the Karen, all of the guests we've had. The interview we've yet to put up. The legends. And now the show.
Drew, I absolutely love your commentary during that.
I keep realizing that I think I accidentally like fidget with something and I press the button. At some point I just was like, I'm gonna embrace it.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think it's no accident whatsoever. Anyway, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And holy crap, I got a bad hair day. I don't know what's happening there. But enjoy. We're going to have an awesome show tonight. And speaking of awesome, Mr. Drew. I don't know why.
Awesome. And I'm Drew. And it's Tuesday. And you had nowhere else to be. And we very much appreciate that. So... Phenomena.
Kari.
Hey, it's Tuesday. I'm Kari. This is Ratatosker.
Ratatouille.
Say that 3 times.
Shut up, Drew. But we are here to hang out with you on this special Tuesday night. Because we have nothing better to do either. And as you can see, I have lights now again, so you can see some of my crazy shit.
I'm super organized.
Yeah.
You have a couch?
Well, over there, I'm sitting on a chair.
Oh wow!
But my sofa's over. My sofa's over here. This is the tea table, and then like right next to it is a sofa where I keep the couch machete.
Kari, this
gotta have a couch for that. But
this is not comic book cribs.
Wait, is that real?
Oh yeah, I keep it stuffed in underneath the seat of my sofa so that when I answer the door, I live by myself. I'm a woman.
Oh my God!
And so if I answer the door, I have to have the couch machete.
What, Leo? Why? No,
everybody has a couch machete.
Leo,
no, I totally.
Why would she have a fake machete?
I'm thinking about all the snakes he can kill with that.
Well, and I also, in case I'm just going to open up the door, I have my ice pick for the front orbital lobotomy through the door. You're just like, hello? These are the things that I have.
I totally get that because, when my mom was living alone and, when we were cleaning out the house, like we were finding like knives she stashed everywhere, like under the seat and stuff like that. Like it's a crazy world. Yeah.
I have golf clubs and I have blunt force objects and stuff hidden around. Hey, Tom Dog. Tom Dog knows.
Oh my God. I swear to God. So I'm dealing with a redheaded frontiersman with a penchant for snake killing. And then I'm dealing with the Nebraskan goth who suddenly got a light bulb change. And I'm the voice of reason. Good Lord. We're doomed.
And you live in the most dangerous place of all of us, and you don't have a couch machete or anything.
No, I have a sword. Okay, it's ready for.
Okay, I have those
I'm
too.
ready. Okay, I have a sword. Okay, and I could have had a machete, but it was offered to me in a very strange way, and I just couldn't feel like I could justify taking it because it felt like I was cursed. Okay.
Wait, are you the New York subway swordsman that I saw like a viral video of?
No.
No.
First things first. Okay, if I'm going to be swinging a sword, okay, I'm clearly going to be battling demons. Okay, because Hellboy taught me nothing better. Okay. The other thing, it's going to be enchanted, and I'm most likely going to be given to it by a woman from a lake. Okay. So, all that. So, no, I'm not that person. So, new phone, who dis?
How pruny does her skin get, do you think? Staying under the lake, just waiting to throw swords out to random deserving individuals.
It's magic, Kari. They don't believe in pruning.
There's no pruning in magic?
No.
I thought it was the water person from M. Shamalama Ding Dong's movie.
Okay, so you just lost points because you referenced the lady in the water, which is before the happening one of the worst M. Night things, and then the happening happened, and then old happened, and from what I hear, Trap is just continuing that disappointment of M. Night, so that's fine.
Are you referring to Nimue? Was that your Lady of the Lake, or do you have a different Lady of the Lake?
I just generally, based on myth, I just kind of avoid women that are floating above water. I just feel like those stories generally don't go well for anybody. Just ocean, lake, pond, puddle, just generally would avoid that.
I have a pothole out in front of my driveway up here that you can pretty much lose anything but a monster truck in. And when it rains in Nebraska, because it does fairly decent amount, you could just kind of like throw toddlers in there and watch them float around. If you got to make sure you put life jackets and floaties on them. But yeah.
Ooh, I did see a paranormal show where they were talking about a haunted lake, where like they evacuated a town and then they built a dam and then like flooded it. And I guess there was like graves and stuff underneath. So like there's a certain area where people swim and somebody grabs them from underneath. Like it's like the most like dangerous lake in America. Like so many people have died in it. And they say it's because you're swimming and somebody grabs you and pulls you under.
Okay, Leo, I'm just going to say this before we get to the news. There was a movie that was made that was very instructional about what to do when you are in a site of continuous death, dismemberment, and sometimes otherwise supernatural thing. It was called Friday the 13th. And you avoid those places, but you know why we keep coming back to them? Two reasons. One, in that case, money. Two, other one, dumbness.
You know what, Jason had a machete as well. And Tom Dog would like to know if that included mermaids as well, Drew. Do you avoid mermaids?
You see, number one, I avoid all mermaids that are not officially sanctioned by Disney, because in my head that is a slippery slope to a siren. And again, personally speaking, generally just am very frightened of it just essentially being pulled underwater by anything supernatural that most likely would have tentacles. So
I just have to interrupt here real quick with the siren thing to say how proud I was of Mads when she was little and we went to we were at a coffee shop and I had a bunch of little finger puppets and
mhm,
stuff and she was playing and making up stories and like I'd tell her a story and then she'd take them and she would make up stories and she invented a siren when she was like 3 or 4 years old. She was like, and this is the mermaid and it goes out here and it's on the rock and it sings and then they have to come and get it and then it eats them. And so she was a little bit more detailed than that. She got really into it.
mhm,
She didn't baby talk very much, but all of these people had been staring at me because I like had told her the story of Bluebeard before that. And
mhm.
they're like, why would you do something like that? I'm like, oh no, she's way more morbid than I am. And yeah, this little 4-year-old like basically made up her own story, but she created sirens because they hadn't been introduced to her yet, that something would sing to lure somebody else out into the water to murder them and eat them.
Yeah,
So that's
Carrie,
just a proud
if
moment in
someone
my life.
offers you a kid show, the answer is no.
I
Okay.
I have to admit, in chat the other day, I said a very dark joke.
Whoa. Time out.
This
Are
was
you
an
saying to you it felt dark? Or was it acknowledged that it was otherwise a dark moment?
it was acknowledged that it was dark.
Okay, because I'm just saying, because your idea of dark is like essentially like dawn for me and Carrie. Like
I'm so proud of you, Leo.
Leah, wait, Carrie,
I-
how did he dip his pinky toe into the dark side?
well, hold on. Let's
No,
see
no, no,
it.
no, no. I'm not talking to
Let's
you.
see it.
I'm not talking to you, line crosser. I'm
I didn't
talking.
see it. I heard him talk about it, so I want to hear what it was
Oh,
so we
okay,
Oh,
can
that's fine.
see
All
as
right.
it was
oh,
acknowledged as being dark. So what is it, Leo?
it was with Brandon and Justin, and
Oh
so
no.
it was the discussion of James Earl Jones passing, and I made the comment. I guess he never heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Get out. No. E- Out. Exit this. No. Blanket your screen. Thank you.
Okay. Had to pull a brain in there real quick and
Hey,
just
don't let
Drew
that
can't
happen
do it.
again.
So
Okay, but I'm proud of
hey
you.
Paul.
Hey, pal, I'm proud of you. But watch it.
Gotta be careful. That might have
Yeah,
been it too soon.
yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta really toe that line because we're your friends. You post that kind of stuff, okay? You're gonna get TIE fighters up your butt, man. You don't want that. You don't want some Imperial Star Destroyers coming at your ass. So, but we'll take that. We'll take this little commercial break. The news. Let's just bang that
Well,
out, and we can then get to the book.
well,
Um,
before we do, since
um,
we're in banter mode, well, I just wanted to share.
mhm,
I went to my LCS this week.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hold on. So check this out. Hold on. I'm not going to show everything.
Yeah,
But Lee Bermejo covers.
nice, beautiful.
Ooh. I always thought it was Bermejo. I've been pronouncing that
Or
wrong.
It's just nice.
Yes, Bermejo. Yeah. So my LCS, anything of Bermejo, they set
Nice.
aside for me.
Are
Uh,
those Mark Waid covers? The
uh,
Mark Waid stories? The ones
let's
that we
see.
talked about last time?
No. These are Superman and then Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh, okay. Well, they
Uh,
look gorgeous regardless.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen,
Ooh.
buddy, I tried to get him on the show, man. He just never got back to my message. So I just want to put out for the record, I mean, we made Carrie's year, so I was like, let's try for Leo and Jar next. Yeah, I read that. It's pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
Peach.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
check this out.
Yeah. The Wolverine cover.
And I didn't realize I pre-ordered this. The red band one.
Ooh, you got the red band. Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice.
That's pretty. That's the Scotty Young is amazing. Yeah. I don't know. I gotta say I feel like I was a little underwhelmed with the Hickman Capullo Wolverine. Like the artwork was great, but the story, I was like, I don't know. Did you get to read it, Leo?
Not yet. No, I literally just picked it up.
Like Harry, you read it, right?
Which one?
I'm
I'm reading everything.
The Wolverine, Hickman Capullo Wolverine.
I don't think so. The latest Wolverine that I've read is Deadpool Wolverine World War III.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
I was catching up on my indies, so
yeah. I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed. Maybe it'll get better, but I mean, Greg's work was just fantastic, obviously. But the story, I was just like, I think I've been spoiled by too much Hickman doing Ultimate Spider-Man. So then when he just switches gears, I'm just like, what is this?
Well,
what?
It's also because it's an anniversary year for 4 different major comics characters. Yeah, we've been inundated with Wolverine, so it's kind of like, you better impress me because we're getting rehashes of everything. We're getting a bunch of new stuff coming out. So if you're going to feed me yet more Wolverine, I want some good Wolverine.
Right. Yep.
And
just
Hickman, it's hard for him to disappoint. So that's too bad.
And Leo, did you hear that yet again? Shocker, Chris Claremont is doing another X-Men book.
Really?
Yeah, but they didn't really announce much about it because his latest book, Deep Cut, it's experiencing some delays. So I think they're waiting till that's back on schedule and coming to an end. But you know that it's going to be another X-Men miniseries, most likely filling in blanks in his 30-year run.
Yeah.
Do you think he was the inspiration for She Who Shall Not Be Named retconning half of Harry Potter? Like suddenly oh, guess what? I'm going to change everything. And yes, this is actually what happened 7 years after the series is over. So that's why things were the way they were. Oh, I'm going to create entire new things that happened just because she could.
I don't, but because I just think that when it comes to Claremont, I mean, he wrote the book on X-Men storytelling. So I feel like he knows where he can just kind of fill in blanks the same way that Mike Mignola can just tell a Hellboy story whenever. Because, you have 40-something years of adventures and cases and whatnot. So you just have a nice range where you could just be like, yeah, I'm just going to do a story in 1956. Okay.
There we go.
So it's just whatever. But yeah, well, most likely when Marvel announces it, we'll cover that. But I saw that and I was just like, hey, look, an announcement that doesn't surprise me at all with as little detail as possible.
Well, speaking of announcements,
I hope you get gum in your hair, Leo.
No, I already went through that.
Yeah, well, I would wish that more on you than Kari. If Kari gets gum in her hair, it is over. That is just doom.
When I was in grade school, a bully put those briars in my hair. They had to cut my hair to get it out.
It's okay. It's all right. I bet you a really cute little Professor X running around with no hair.
I was adorable.
Yeah. All right. So let's
neat little Leo pictures.
Fortunately, everybody, it's the variant watch. It's just variants. So we're gonna bang this out one after another. So Leo, the second I'm done, just put up the next one. So
So,
The-
just real quick though, spoiler alert, and Drew, you need to guess which one. But out of the books that you're covering tonight, I did already pre-order. Let's see if you can guess which one.
Okay.
Oh, and I also added, I added one to one of your books. You'll have to see if you know who it is.
Okay. We'll see. So the first one is they released Philip Tan's Iron Man issue 1 foil cover. So we've already seen that there will be this October. There's going to be a new Iron Man issue 1 because there's not enough Iron Man issue 1s. This is by Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, author Spencer Ackerman. He's making his Marvel debut with rising star Julius Ojeda for this new run of Marvel's Armored Avenger. So this is the foil cover there. So this is by the acclaimed artist Philip Tan, who's done quite a bit of work. I always remember him for his work that he did on the later years of Spawn. But this one has been, quote unquote, put the improvised Iron Man because, as you can see, it looks like a lot of parts have been just kind of tinkered, thrown on together and whatnot, but still formidable. So, yep. So that's along with the other Iron Man covers we've seen. This is the latest. So that's Philip Tan's Iron Man issue 1. Foil
Now,
cover.
did he build that out of a junkyard in the back? I mean, that's what it looks like.
I have no idea. All I know is apparently we're going to be seeing this suit assembled throughout the series. So
that shoulder is screaming World of Warcraft to me. You know, like massive shoulders.
Yep.
All right, next, please.
So assembling the suit in the series, kind of like Batman did when he was traversing through the verses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very similar.
There's a bunch of pictures for the next one, so just let me know when to switch, or should I just filter through?
You can just filter through because they're all Marvel comic related stuff. So just pause for a minute. So everybody, if you've seen any Marvel cinematic movies, like most of the people on this show, even Kari's seen one or two, you would be familiar with Ryan Meherding's work, as it is fundamental to the MCU. He's the head of development at Marvel Studios. He designed and conceptualized character costumes for Iron Man, Avengers, Cap, Civil War, Black Panther, Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home. So Abrams Books, which publishes the MCU making of the story of the Marvel Studios in 2021, they're going to be planning on showcasing a 500 plus images in a new book titled Marvel Studios, The Art of Ryan Mindering. So that is going to be a 320 page book, which will have a foreword by Kevin Feige, more than 500 illustrations and insight into his process and view on his collaborations for the concept and his character design. So that's coming out October 1st. So Marvel, kind of to maybe help with sales, more like pay tribute, is rolling out a line of variant covers throughout September and beyond. So that's the cover of the book right there. And Leo, I'm ready when you are. You have Thor: Dark World. You got the Avengers right there. I want to say it's Endgame.
That wraparound's neat.
So Spider-Man: Homecoming. You got Hulk from Avengers. You got Vision from Age of Ultron. You got Moon Knight from, well, you know,
Moon Knight.
the show. Yes.
Phases of the Moon Knight.
Moon Knight
So
from Moon Knight.
Spider-Man, and I think that's the suit from Far From Home, or it could be Homecoming. It's really hard to tell. You got Thanos.
I love that one.
Yeah, Thanos from Infinity War.
That's the last one.
So these would be on issues Avengers Assemble, Immortal Thor, Amazing Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, The Avengers, and the Phases of Moon Knight. So keep an eye on those. They'll be released this fall. Like I said, they're most likely going to be released I would say throughout October, if anything. So if you like the Thanos, like Kari and Leo did, talk to your local LCS, get hooked up.
Yeah, no Spider-Mans
Oh,
are
yeah.
pretty bad too.
Yeah. All right.
Cool
All right.
beans, cool beans.
All right. Next, please. Yes. So briefly, as Kari has mentioned, we've covered a lot of the Horizon experiment, which is led by an award-winning creator, Pornchak Pachotti, who did The Good Asian, Infidel, and also, I believe it was Man's Best. Him and editor Will Dennis, who did Gideon Falls, Why the Last Man. Their project essentially sees all-star talent from across entertainment re-envisioning popular genre fare and characters through a diverse lens of comic book styles. So the debut issue, The Horizon Experiment, The Manchurian Candidate, written by Pishotti and illustrated by Terry Dodson, who we had the pleasure of interviewing at Terrificon this year, and his wife Rachel. That book hits shelves in September. So what we're seeing here is the full connecting cover for the Horizon Experiment by I believe it's award-winning now, artist Tula Late, and it's just absolutely just beautiful to look at. Especially, we're seeing it here individually, but when you see that full everything all together connected, it is just stunning. You know, so
That was the first one, right?
yes. So
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
I believe she won awards for Somna, didn't she? That was like majorly oversold out, and
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, very rarely do you see a series of connecting covers for different books with such variety. But you know, she said she loved working on it. She loved the idea. The stories were just fantastic. So, you know, I mean, again, fantastic spookiness. I'm fairly certain Kari's ordered all of them already.
Gotta see my paycheck.
Yep.
I've got so much.
Indeed.
My
So
playlist.
you're going to see those most likely already out. Yeah. So the first book, The Horizon Experiment, The Manchurian, it's supposed to hit shelves this September. So either it's already out or it'll be released within the next week or two. So keep an eye out. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. And then I believe there are two more. So, yep. Okay. So, again, there has been an absolute ton of buzz, as we know, for Absolute Batman, the absolute, new universe, which is essentially DC's Ultimate Universe. And it just the news just keeps building. I thought it was pretty funny, how Scott Snyder is handling people complaining about the Batman chest symbol being so ridiculously thick. But apparently not. Apparently he is still going forward with it, and everybody is pumped. And they just released these. These are the images for retailer variants. So these, to my knowledge, are these are those exclusive ones, exclusive to only certain stores, convention, or creator studios. So I'm going to go one by one. Excuse me. And also let y'all know where you can get one if you're loving it. So the first one is by, of course, Frank Miller. So I believe Frank and Scott Snyder's frequent collaborator Jock collaborated for that. That's a foil variant. That will be on sale exclusively at, Scott and Frank Miller's table at this year's New York Comic Con. So, yep. The next one there, that's Clayman, and that again will also be available for New York Comic Con. So, excuse me.
This does this give you a vibe of anything? I have something very particular that this reminds me of. I want to see if it does the same for you, Drew.
Uh,
Or Carrie.
it kind of reminds me of
Max?
the Max a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes. No.
Yeah, it's got that kind of gritty 90s alternative vibe to it, especially like placement and things.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, absolutely. I thought that was like, wow, that's actually really freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
The next one, that's Liam. What's up, Jabo? That's Liam Sharp. I don't. Yeah, that's Liam Sharp.
Yeah, and apparently those arms, that's his cape, and I guess it's similar to the Batman movie where like he can use like an electrical impulse to make it like form a shape.
Yeah, and that is available for the web. There's a website, Things from Another World.
Yep.
So that's where you'd be able to find that one. The next one, which is gorgeous, of course, but that's Sean Murphy doing that one. I believe that'll be available. Yeah, Leo, you're going ahead of me, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be available at Third Eye Comics. So that one. And then the next one, that's Mark Brooks doing that. And there's two versions of that. You have the foil noir, and then there's a silver screen edition. So
I used the silver screen for the next one to show the bottom of the cape a little bit better.
oh no, it's fine. I'm just letting you know. So that's from Mark Brooks's own studio. So that's available on markbrooksart.com. Yep. And then the last one, I believe. There you go. That's
Okay, so
right.
that's
That's
the-
the silver foil.
Yeah.
Because Carrie really wanted to highlight that cape, and I agree with her. Good call, Carrie. And then the last one, yep.
There's
That's
one more,
Dan
actually.
Panosian, and that's a one of three cover that will connect. So that's what I believe it's called that's what's called a triptych. So this cover will connect to the cover that Dan will be working on for Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. And that's going to be available at Midtown Comics. So, yeah. So
I included one more.
Okay. Hold on. All right, Carrie. Hold on a second.
Looks like Otley.
It's Ryan Otley's comic sketch art variation.
Nice. I did. Thank you, Carrie. I did not have that on there, but Ryan Otley, famously known for his work on Kirkman's Invincible.
And I have to say, I did not pre-order any of those. The pack I pre-ordered had I'll show you the ones that I got.
I swear, every time I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to buy any more DC. They do something like this. I'm like,
I know.
yeah, they just, it's like The Godfather, every time I'm out, they pull me back in. So, but all right. So that is for that, I believe, and Leo is going again.
Yeah, this is the set that I pre-ordered.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because we talked about the other variants before.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I wasn't going to do them all again.
Well, I do know that the next one is something that I believe Carrie is very excited about. Yep.
Hint. Yes.
So everybody, as we already know, the new hot item in the new Hansel, if you're a Zoolander fan, for comics right now is Ghost Machine. They're killing it on every book they've been putting out lately. If you're not reading Geiger, please do. If you're not reading Rook Exodus, please do. Kari can back me up on that one.
The most recent one is fabulous.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Hyde Street is up there. They have a bunch of other books also coming out. Top-notch talent. They just keep adding more and more to their company of some of the best in current comics. And to show their appreciation for the fans who helped get some of these creators to this place, they announced that for Hyde Street issue 1, they are going to be releasing a 1 in 100 homage cover that is a reference to Blackest Night. So that right there is a reference to Ivan Rice and Jeff Johns' Blackest Night issue 1, which was I think like 2008. I know I own this cover. So instead of Necron, who was, as you know, the villain of Blackest Night, you have the skull with Mr. X-rays, memorable specs. So they said that this is with this one, they want to pay tribute not only to Rice's collaboration with Jeff Johns in the past, but also to the readers and fans that made Blackest Night the success that it was at that time, and continue to support both creators, throughout that time and then going forward. Personally speaking, I think that's a great idea, and it's a fun variant cover that doesn't feel like it's overplayed, and hey, why not? So, Kari, I know you're thrilled.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait for Hyde Street to come out. I'm just like, I got my T-shirt ready. I got everything ready. I ordered it like before they announced its release date. I was just like, when this comes out, I do not know when. I would like to have it, please. Thank you.
But whatever happens, I want issue 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Get it for
All right.
me.
I believe that's everything, but there was one more thing we have to address, which I hate to say is a very somber thing. But I did ask Kari to mention it, because far be it from us to ignore the passing of a comic book legend. So everybody, we at Splash Pages learned recently that the amazing, absolutely stupendous, and extremely wonderful in person John Cassidy passed away recently. He was 52. And it is such a loss, especially on the same day that we lost or we learned of the passing of the late great James Earl Jones. For those who don't know John's work, which some part of me is like, how could you not? But still, he was well known for his work on Planetary with writer Warren Ellis, his collaboration with Joss Whedon on Astonishing X-Men, which followed up Grant Morrison, which was fantastic. Captain America with Johnny Reiber, and then Leo, Star Wars with Jason Aaron. So,
oh wow,
something for both of you. He
was
did,
also the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also the drummer in Planetary.
Yes. And he did a ton of covers for both Marvel and DC. Like a lot of Marvel Comics-based animated films were huge on using his work, which was amazing because he was, a self-taught illustrator. He'd been working since I think the 90s, but he did so much. And fun fact, he was even in a couple of small horror films. He was in House on Haunted Hill, ITV Playhouse. He directed an episode of Dollhouse in 2009. So, the guy, he was quite a lot. But like I said, a lot of the people I know in the comic book world were huge fans, and I've heard nothing but great things. I had the pleasure of meeting him. Thank you, Mitch Halleck, when he was at Terrific Con. I believe it was 2-3 years ago, and he was just so nice. I got to take a photo with him. I got him to sign that cover of JSA All Stars, which I'm sure anyone who knows me knows why. And honestly, comic books are better because of his work. So he will be missed, but he will never be forgotten. So
52 is way too young.
Absolutely. Way too young. But yes, so that is it for the news. So
yeah,
I actually hear crickets in the background, but that's because I live in the suburbs.
Well,
So.
we'll take a quick break. Be back in just 36 seconds.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hello.
Leah, are you frozen?
No.
Okay. All right.
So, why this book, Drew?
Well, no, first things first, before we do, I believe Kari had some like fast reviews of some books that we've covered in the past that she just wanted to blow through. So Kari?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody. I've been reading all of the things. So a lot of the books that we have brought in on the news, I went ahead and have been reading them over the past couple weeks and decided, since we're having kind of a short show tonight, that I would tell you some of the highlights of the best ones that I've read that we've covered. In no particular order. We're going to go first with Minor Arcana, put out by Boom Studios, written and illustrated by Jeff Lemire. In this book, Teresa St. Pierre returns home to aid her ailing mother, who wants her to take over her fortune-telling shop. Teresa is a recovering alcoholic. Her mother is an alcoholic with cancer. And Teresa comes back. She hates her hometown. She doesn't really want to take care of her mother. And she doesn't want to run the occult shop, but she does somehow have a connection with the occult, which is brought in towards the end of the first book, which is the only one that's out right now. It's beautiful artwork by Jeff Lemire, as always. And the storyline looks like it really is going to go somewhere. There's going to be some angst. There's going to be some small town getting used to being back with, oh, yeah, great. We knew each other from high school. Fabulous. But it looks like there's going to be some great stuff going in with the occult side of things as well, and doing tarot readings and crystal balls and stuff like that. And the problems that she had with people before in her hometown are going to kind of come up to the surface. So that one is one that I would suggest getting started on since it just came out. Another one that just came out is Patra. It's one out of, there's only going to be 4 issues of it. This is from Dark Horse, written by James Robinson and illustrated by Scott Collins. This one has a very fever dream feel going about it. The art is crazy. And basically, we see a murder that's taken place in a small town of a whole family of people. There's a lost girl who's running around in the woods covered in blood, and a mask and a knife just keep randomly appearing on her face, and she'll throw it, it'll disappear. And then as she goes, it comes back and throws itself on her. There's a psychiatrist who comes in to talk to the sheriff's office after they're investigating this, who's like, oh, my patient disappeared, and he had been kept as a foster child with his 2 sisters so that they could torture them. And since then, he goes out and kills families to capture people to look like his sisters. And then if they don't end up living to be like his sisters, he murders them. And I had him, but he escaped. And so this is the violent Jeremy Jones, who's possibly who's chasing Patra through the woods as she's trying to remember what in the hell happened. It is very, very violent looking, very graphic, but it is gorgeous in a way that like I said, it bounces all over, but you can follow it if you're going with it. And Scott Collins' artwork is just amazing. Next one, also by Dark Horse, this one has 2 issues out right now, is Paranoid Gardens by Gerard Way and Sean Simon, illustrated by Chris Weston. And this is the one that has a nursing home that has all sorts of different patients in it. There are humans, there are creatures, there are superheroes, there are aliens. The main character is Lou or Louise, and she has lost her parents, is on meds that she frequently forgets to take. We don't know exactly what they're for, though, but it seems she might have some sort of hallucinatory or dissociative disorder. But she is like the happiest nurse in the place, and all of the patients love her to the chagrin of some of the other nurses. As we go through it so far, we've learned that the building is alive, kind of, that this girl she'll scoop up a dead or injured bird and it will come to life. But when things are going bad for her, she's picked up a plant and it dies. So she's freaking out about this. A new patient is brought in who recognizes her, but is unable to, he's so out of control that they have to keep him heavily sedated. So she's trying to get to talk to him without having him destroy everything. And there's all these different weird conspiracies going on with like the doctors trying to sneak patients in that don't actually belong there because they're trading the place for stuff. And it's really interesting. I thought it was going to be corny, but it's got a lot of depth to it and a lot of different storylines to keep following that all tie into each other. So that's another one I would highly recommend. Except only 2 issues into that now. Image has put out Plastic, Death and Dolls by Doug Wagner, illustrated by Daniel Hilliard. And this is into issue 4 or 5 right now. It features Edwin. He's a man who he seems to be somewhere on the spectrum. He was raised by his single mother who liked to bring in random guys to be a father figure that she'd keep in the bedroom. And when he was young, he was a little bit violent in school towards bullies and got in trouble. His mom collected dolls and kept their heads in bags to preserve them for something, and she gave him a doll. And then one of his fatherly influences let him start playing with a hacksaw and took a dead bird that he'd been trying to take care of, and he somehow thought that it was still alive and threw it into the river and made him understand death. So as he grew up, he's working in this restaurant, and he's buddies with the owner's blind son, Booker, who just kind of hangs out there and on his laptop and hangs and does stuff and has gotten to where he can recognize everybody. But he gives everybody nicknames because he couldn't remember the names of the dolls, so he gave them all nicknames. And he starts off, a man kicks a cat and says cat soccer, and he kills him and cuts off his head with a hacksaw and gives the head with cat soccer written on it, and it goes in the newspaper. And and people are like, well, that guy was a dick apparently, so maybe he deserved it. And something with the dolls in the head, or with the doll heads in the bags, he just keeps killing people and putting their heads in bags. And people find him interesting, and somebody suggests to him, maybe you shouldn't, Booker that is, suggests to him, maybe the killer shouldn't just keep leaving the heads around. They might get caught easier. So he starts putting them in his refrigerator with his mother's head. This has gotten really, really weird really fast, but it's also really hysterical in a morbid sense. All of the different nicknames, and he can't get to the real big baddies that he wants to, so he'll kill like the guy who stole a biscuit or the guy who put a booger under a booth instead of being able to kill the big bads that he wants. But he has a list kind of that he's going through, and his mindset and the way that everybody else's work are just great. And yes, by the way, this is me doing it, so all of these are kind of creepy and horror related, just in case you wondered. Not too much left here. I'm going to go with Huge Detective by Titan Comics. Has only gotten the first one out so far. Features a person named Mackenzie, who she is the main character, along with Detective Giant. And in this world, the Huge have awakened from the center of the earth in an Omega event 40 years prior to the beginning of the comic. We get a brief introduction to that. And they are just like ridiculously enormous giants. They take over Australia, and they start working with humans by doing things like providing transportation. They'll load giant backpacks that people can climb into, and it takes a shorter time for them to walk through the ocean and take you somewhere than it would to take a plane. So this is part of the things that they start getting to normalize the relationships between them rather than trying to fight and dying. And so some huge people have gone missing and some regular people have gone missing, and you have Detective Giant and Mackenzie working together on things. And then one guy named Manny, who is a regular person who thinks he is a huge and is going insane in a cell, and they have to treat him with like pretending that he's actually a huge and that they're doing things for him. And it's leading into some really weird, very, very, very weird things there. But once again, it looks like it has a lot of promise. Boom Studios Blow Away, written by Zach Thompson and illustrated by Nicola Izzo, gives us, this one I believe is also 4 or 5 issues in. It has a very Rear Window feel going into it. There's a nature photographer named Bryn who is up in an Arctic type of area trying to capture birds on film, and instead she captures a potential murder. And she turns it, like the stop motion film or pictures that she has, into the police, but they can't actually determine whether it's somebody falling or people pushing each other or whatnot. And then there's other people who she has captured on film, and kind of they're coming into her space. So she's fearing for her life. And it's really fun, kind of hanging on the edge. It's very suspenseful. It's not nearly as violent as the other ones that I'm into, or as horrific, but it has that real suspenseful edge going for it.
Mhm.
First issue, I'm almost done. This is the last major issue, and then I'm going to just cover the 2 anthology or 3 anthologies coming out. That we finally got Michael Walsh's Universal Monsters Frankenstein out by Image. Issue 1 is out, and not going to get too deep into this one. It is glorious, and the way that he has decided to approach the story, since all the new Universal Monsters books have had a different take than the main focus. This is a story that starts in a cemetery, and there's a little boy at his father's grave. He hides from grave robbers, and the book follows the body parts that are used to create the monster, and the boy is following them, and his dad is part of the Frankenstein monster. So that's the view that they're going to take, is the body's owner and the relations to the body. So that one came out. It's going to be beautiful. The artwork is great. We've been waiting for it. Did not disappoint. And last, from EC, we have Epitaphs from the Abyss. Has 2 issues out now, as well as Cruel Universe. Not going to go into it. We've listed them before. It's 2 different anthology series. Cruel Universe is sci-fi. Epitaphs from the Abyss are horror, and tons of great authors and artists involved. They did not disappoint. All of them were fabulous. And last, we have 2 issues out of Hello Darkness by Image. It is also an anthology series. Not going to go through all of those either. They were all really good. And additionally, inside each of them, we have stories that are going to be like little mini series of a story, including Something is Killing the Children offshoot. Like Something is Killing the Children, a hunter walks into a bar, and by James Tynion, of course, and that will be going over multiple issues. And Garth Ennis has also put in a short story that is going over multiple issues called The War. And that's what I've been reading lately. So yeah, catch up on those. They are beautiful, wonderful comics. And yeah, they're on the creepy side, but that's what you get when the goth girl does it. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just like,
That's a lot.
She reads a lot, buddy.
that was
All right.
like 2 days.
Just real quick, this issue of Absolute Batman, this cover, sold out.
Of course it did.
It what?
Sold out.
Oh, yeah, of course it did.
Yeah, I did just order the ash can though from that they had at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, cool.
I found one on eBay. It's on its way.
So now, Leo, you were asking me why this book.
Yes.
Well, I was at my local LCS, and one of the individuals I know who works there knows that I'm a huge Starman fan, and obviously a big fan of James Robinson. He was like, "Oh, I really recommend this book. Like James wrote it. It was started during his Starman era. It's absolutely fantastic. I think you'd really enjoy it." And he had all 3 volumes, and I got a good deal. And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I remember like reading them when I was on a camping trip, and I was just blown away with the scope of the book, how original the idea was, the characters, everything was just very fun, in a way that like I said, I appreciated, and I've wanted to get my copies signed by James, and if Paul Smith is ever at a con, because both of them do great work. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I was sad when I learned that it never really went past the, I think, 13th issue. And it's just, yeah, it was a stellar book, and I've had it saved for when we needed a book, because I thought it'd be a nice, different change of pace from reading Marvel or DC. So yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys thought. So
Yeah, Kari, you want to go first, or you'd like me to go first?
Go ahead and go first.
Yeah, no, I thought this was a really fun read. It's definitely, I don't know if it felt a little like a kid's book, but I don't know if I was just reading that wrong. Was I reading that wrong? I don't know. Anyway, I liked it a lot. It was definitely a lot of fun. Or should I say Lugosi's bones?
Lugosi's bones, yes. Yep.
I agree. When I got to the end of the 13th issue, I'm like, wait, what? There's not more. And like the Fairyland, they should have done more with this.
I think they were planning on it, but it just, again, they were never able to do more. And I don't know if that was just, people got busy lives and whatnot, but yeah, like I said, I just love this. And I seem to recall it actually got inspired, if I might remember the foreword correctly, that James wrote in issue 1. It got inspired by, I think it was like a drawing in like an anthology that Frank Miller did of like Nancy Drew. And I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah, I could see it. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun adventures. I love the dragon, because she really isn't, calling for her dad for help. It was just great to have that, that sidekick that you didn't know how powerful it was, and
right.
It was
and I also, what I liked is that it flipped a lot of expectations. It would have been so easy to make the sewer creatures bad. It would have been, like it definitely built things up. It told a good story, and it kind of like a young adventure. Like this would be, if this was released now, it would be a YA novel, young adults.
Oh, and the school storyline, that was totally a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Oh yeah, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Like the first volume I thoroughly enjoyed because I think it sets up everything great. And I love the butler too, because I felt like he just gave me Alfred vibes. But I thoroughly enjoyed like the second or third volume, the parade, dealing with the movie monsters was just fantastic. Yeah, just absolutely great. But Kari, what'd you think?
No, I agree with you, Leo. It felt like a children's book, but it also I did get the Nancy Drew vibe from it, even though she didn't have a whole crew. It was just Chance, and I love that they named the dragon Saint George as well. That's cool. But with the Fairyland, the thing that I caught with that, I do wish they had done more, because it kind of leaves it with now you're too old to come back.
Mhm.
But hopefully, hopefully George is still able to go there and help them out, because, he's a dragon. He would obviously be able to see all of the fairies and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I also really was impressed by the different accents and way that everybody spoke. The underground goblins spoke in one way.
Mhm.
The trogs spoke with certain. They had a bunch of different districts in the city, that because the city's laid out like a pentagram,
Right.
and so it but each district, there's like the Irish district, the Haitian district, the Egyptian district,
Mhm.
or it was the Scottish, not Irish, but they all had their own little accents that they spoke in, and he did a really good job of writing them that way, I
Mhm.
thought, and because that was fun to read. Usually you might catch oh, John Constantine speaks a little bit differently, but but this everybody did, and it was fun to see how they spoke, and it lent more flavor to it, I
Yeah.
thought. And yeah, the butler was awesome. He reminded me of Alfred, but also looks like a really cartoonish version of Lucian from the Sandman, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Just looking at him right there in that panel right there. Yeah, he's got that vibe.
And
Yeah.
this panel, I absolutely love this panel because she's essentially saying, they're saying, don't go. And she's like, go, I'm going anyway. And, he just has that little smirk, while the other um, nanny is,
Oh
frightened.
dear.
Yeah.
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 It's like she's
It's
growing
just
into, she's growing into her own. And, and since it ended on the 13th issue, who was the guy in the hat?
Right.
And I think they give a big hint to that because somebody doesn't show in that issue when
Right.
the magic happens.
Mhm.
One person did, but one person didn't. So
Right.
maybe
Well,
something. Yeah, go for it, Carrie.
the person who kidnapped Rachel was also
Right.
missing, and he wore a hat
Mhm. Yep.
back in the school arc. So, or not in the school arc, slightly after that, but so Fong is a possibility as well, because he was a villain that, well, kind of, yeah, villain, but driven crazy by bad things happening to him, villain.
Yeah, I definitely liked that they set up kind of a Chance's Rogues Gallery, but it wasn't really. It was just, villain she just happened to defeat, you know?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the mall one was funny. Yeah, that was funny. That was good. And I agree with you, Leo. The school one definitely had a Scooby-Doo kind of vibe to it. But again, it was all fun, you know?
Yeah, and I shouldn't really say reading like a kid's book because it got dark at times because when they're talking about how many people died so far, and they're like 25 people died in the attack, but it's going to be much more. It's
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely got dark at times.
And she actually, one thing that killed me, well, not killed me, but she actually kills someone early on in the series. And
Mhm.
but she's dealing with it all in I'm going to be a falconer. It's part of my family to be a falconer. And I'm going to come across death, and I have to just talk myself through this because this is going to be something that'll be eventually a regular thing for me, so I can't dwell on it. And
Right.
nobody bothers to be like, maybe you should talk to somebody about this. They're just like, oh, well, yeah, part of the family. Even though her father doesn't want her to take on the legacy because she's a girl,
Yeah, but we
he
learn
still
later
gives
on.
her, yeah,
Yeah, but of course we learn later on that's just him, unfortunately, trying to protect her. Of
yeah,
course, in the not the greatest way, because that's what dads like that do. Um,
yeah,
well, like I said, there was just so many little things, and when I reread it this time, I was trying hard to see, like, especially, and you had like the parade, you had like all these other things, like little artistic, like Easter eggs or nods or things.
hmm
Um, I don't recall if anything really jumped out at me, but like I said, it was just a great stuff. And like I said, I love the third volume because I love, like, you know, you have the monsters in the movie theater, you have the Phantom of the Mall, you had the undead hockey player. You know, it was just fantastic. And it just built up the yeah, it just built up the characters really well. She had such a great cast of people, you know. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Speaking of cast, I know it's much further on, but um the villain with the glasses and the red hair that goes like really poofy,
Mhm.
that gave me a Adam Ruins Everything vibe. Did that do the
Yeah,
same?
totally.
Yeah.
No, I totally did as well. But
And I'm with you guys that issue 13 ended on, okay, we've just given you the Bible for the beginning of a brand new amazing series.
mhm.
And then they didn't do it.
Yep.
And they interviewed James Robinson on the 20th anniversary of it and were like, hey, did you guys want to do something? And spoke to the company and they're like, yeah, well, we'd have to get approval from the artist and he won't reply to any of our emails and he doesn't want to do it. So we can't do anything with what's already out there, but get a different artist. Give us this, Mr. Robinson, because this story deserves to go on. You wrote such a great premise and such a great buildup. Feed us more.
I don't know, Carrie, can I be
Please.
honest with you? Like, I kind of imagined, like, your daughter, like, kind of being like Chance, like a little bit, like, just, you know. And it's funny because, like, when I was reading this, like, I just felt like Chance is essentially like a combination. Like, she's a little Jubilee-ish, like her outfit, you know, and she's got like Kitty Pryde's Lockheed, and she's got like the best like little ride ever. You know, she's got her magic cycle, and I was
Yeah.
just like it was just one of those where I was like, this would be adapted so well, and would just make such a good miniseries. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, oh,
And that could be a way to go too. Use this as a buildup and then feed us, make it a Netflix or a Prime series. Use
right.
this that's built up already. And then if you don't want to go and give us more comics,
Mhm.
give it the rest of it as a show like they did with Game of Thrones and such.
Yeah, and the thing what I also liked about this is that every character. Well, see, the thing I also
What?
liked about this.
I said right to the heart there. Holy crap! Don't bring up Game of Thrones.
There you go.
He quit writing it.
I
Did
know
a show.
I know he quit writing it, but HBO fucked it up.
All right,
The
Leo,
new,
So I
moving
didn't
on.
watch it.
Leo, moving on.
the
but-
new series is awesome though.
I will just say this, as I also loved is that the book, the characters felt accurate. You know, because sometimes people write kids, but they don't talk like kids; they talk like adults.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I felt like everybody fit their role. You know what I mean? Chance acted like a young girl who just wants to prove herself to her dad. Her dad is the overprotective protector of the city who doesn't want to lose the last bit of family he has. You know, the cops were fantastic and encouraging. Her girlfriends were just, again, everything just fit. And like I said, I know that this book, when it was first out, it won a lot of awards. You know, best new series, best for young actors and whatnot. I just agree with you. I just wish it had kept going. You know,
You know what this means? We need to get the writer here for an interview.
I'm trying. Trust me, I am 100% trying. I would love to
Drew
get
would-
lose my mind. You can't listen,
Mhm.
Leo. You have to understand. I've met James Robinson twice. The second time was by far the best. And like, you see how excited I got with Tony when he came on. It would basically be like that, but more. If James Robinson came on, and I've tried, and I will keep trying because hell yeah. But oh yeah. But yeah, so like I said, great book. I really recommend that this for anybody. If you like a little magic, but not muddled in DC, Marvel lore, if you like something simple, fun, with a little darkness and a lot of magic, and this is the book for you. You know, and it's also the kind of book that if your kid wanted to read, this is pretty appropriate for them too.
Yeah.
You know?
The swears are like jeepers.
Exactly.
So you don't have to worry about having children with a mouth like mine.
I feel like I will teach future children of mine to have good substitute curse words. And if I can teach my kid to just randomly say Lugosi's bones, I'm gonna be like, I've done great as a dad. You know.
I would be very
Or
proud of you.
I have a daughter and she's like, I want to dress like Chance. I'm like, honey, the kid's making me cry again. I'm like, we will do it. And no one will know who you are, but I'll know, and you will be my favorite. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about with the book, or anything else that you wanted to bring up? Because, you know, I'm good. I was my book. I'm glad you liked it. I'm done. I'm good. I'm winning.
I am very thankful that you had us read it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Listen, Leo, I'm glad because, you know, I feel like ever since I started recommending books, you kind of crack one open with a little hesitation. Like, did he give me another, like, in your face, what the fuck? Or is it like, oh, okay, this is pleasant. This is nice. It was like,
I know that's why it was shocking. It was like, wait a second. I was waiting for the what the fuck moment, but it didn't show
nope.
up.
That the what the fuck moment is, it was like, this is very wholesome. I was like, I have layers to me, Leo. Okay. I'm like a Shrek onion. Okay. Ogres have layers, onions have layers. You get it.
No, the only what the fuck moment I had was I finally read Absolute Power #1.
Told you.
Oh wow.
You got to
Yeah.
keep reading it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have the first 3. So
Yep.
any of the side issues I should read?
I haven't really been reading them, to be quite honest. I tried and I don't know. I think the story has to be, for me, it's to be pretty good for me to read, like, tie-ins and stuff. I mean, Carrie, maybe Blood Hunt burned me out, because now I'm just like, I can't. Like, I see a title, I'm like, no.
So silly question, is Absolute Power gonna lead into the Absolute Universe?
Somehow there, because you remember, Absolute Power is a 4-issue series, and then they have that big mega one shot, because Carrie covered this. They're gonna have that big mega one, which is kind of the epilogue of Absolute Power and kind of their introduction to the Absolute Universe. You know, and around that time, that's when we're gonna get all the pre-existing books that they're doing are gonna get new teams, new directions. Personally speaking, in terms of DC, the thing I'm especially looking forward to that's not an absolute is Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's Batman and Robin Year One. I think that's going to be fantastic. And hopefully when we have Mark on the show in October, maybe we could see if we can get some deets.
I need to pick up everything Mark Waid does.
Well, yeah, of course you do. Like, you're a Mark Waid fanboy, which is funny because out of all of us, you were the person who didn't get to meet him at Terrificon.
Yeah, and I kept on. Yeah, I know.
Listen, I want to point out, I offered, man, and you were, no, it's fine. You go do the thing. I'll watch the table. And I'm just like, okay, but when you see that group shot, don't get salty. And Carrie, he got salty.
Yeah.
he got a little salty.
Next,
Even Carrie was like, I don't know if I want to be in the photo. I don't photograph. Supernatural beings don't photograph. And she's just like, I'm the least colorful one of all of you. I was like, it's okay. Everybody has that shadow friend.
But what was the Wonder Woman or the Trinity thing that I just read?
Oh yeah, Leo, you got to read that. So what
That
they
was
did is
cute.
Leo. So what they did is Tom King has been doing. He's been doing his Wonder Woman book, which has been pretty good from what I've seen. I mean, again, I've never been the greatest Wonder Woman fan, just because I don't know, certain stories didn't really connect to me. But I've always meant to check out George Perez's Wonder Woman. But in his Wonder Woman book, he also does backups that are Wonder Woman's daughter, Trinity, who is, we saw introduced in Wonder Woman 800. And these stories, they're just so fucking fun and funny because it's Trinity growing up and her babysitters are like in their 20s, John Kent and Damian Wayne.
Yep. Yeah.
And
The issue 800 storyline was so great.
yeah, and Kari read the one shot because they collected all these these backups and they put it all in one big comic. And Kari got to read all that, and it's all available online.
God, it was hilarious.
It was so good.
I was like, Drew, I read it. I finally found them all together and I read it. And it was just, if you guys can find that, go out. Oh my goodness. It's so cute.
Mhm.
And just hysterical with did you check for the math? Yes, I checked twice for the math. Darkseid is in my closet. He's going to kill us with the math.
Just for everyone to understand is that Damian told an extremely incorrect and very weighted story about him defeating Darkseid, and the anti-life equation had to be dumbed down to the math. And it is literally the most terrifyingly adorable thing ever. Just like when the sorceress Cersei turned John Kent and Damian Wayne into super corgis.
It happens.
I have to say, Damian Wayne, Damian, if written properly, is just awesome. I tried reading Batman and Robin just to catch up for our guest the other week because he's going to be taking over Batman and Robin. And the current writer, I did not like it. Like Damian.
Are you talking about Joshua Williamson?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a very interesting take because because you also, Leo, you're having Batman and Robin. They're back together because there was a time when Damian and Batman were apart. So they're back together as a team. They're dealing with villains trying to attack in different ways. You've got
the one I read was Bane.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I was getting there. So you have new villains, like there's a female version of Hush, whose name is Shush. And I'm like, okay, whatever, not the most creative.
And
you had Man-Bat, and then you had they go to Dinosaur Island, where it's Damian and Bruce versus Bane and his daughter.
Yeah.
I definitely, for me, I would recommend if you really want some good Damian Bruce stories, I would I would recommend Batman and Robin by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. Solid stuff.
Yeah, that's the Batman versus Robin, right?
Maybe.
So there was Damian had his own series, which I think was just called
Robin.
It just Robin? Yeah. And then they did Batman versus Robin. And then now it's Batman and Robin.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is New 52.
Oh,
so New 52,
okay. Got it.
Batman and Robin. That book I thoroughly recommend.
Awesome.
That one's pretty freaking solid. And then also, if you really want a good Robin story, both of you, Junie Ba just finished his Robin Boy Wonder story, which was a Black Label miniseries. Thoroughly loved it. Some people had issues with the artwork. Junie's style kind of has like a fairy tale kind of aspect to it, but I thought it was a great story that kind of weaved a fairy tale kind of way of introducing, discussing, honoring all the Robins. And I mean all, like Dick, Jason, Tim, Damian. It was great. And it's such a good ending. So if you get a chance, it's only 5 issues, pretty solid.
Nice.
So,
mind messaging me the those 2 books?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep, no worries. But you know what? Honestly, I don't really think there's anything much more to say. So maybe we want to just wrap it up and call it an early night.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. I know, bunch of people dropped. I know the debates going on right now.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right. Well, listen. We're good, but we can't beat those numbers. So let's just end it on the high note. And
Yep.
and 1 second, it's Kari. You and Ratatata. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know why Leo put this on me right now. I don't know why, but thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad that you decided to spend the time with us. Next week we will have Ron Garney from Berserker coming back on to do a full interview. Really excited. So we're going to be reading Berserker. There might be some other Ron Garney related books that we're going to maybe read to get some good questions there. Super pumped. So stay tuned for us next week, September 17th, Ron Garney.
Awesome. And I put it on you because you signaled to me I don't know. Anyway, you know me, you know how to find me. Just more importantly, check out the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Go follow all our stuff. We greatly appreciate it. We're almost to 600 people over on YouTube. And check out our YouTube page. We got a bunch of special content there. I know I need to start putting it up on like TikTok and Facebook and stuff like that, but trying to grow our YouTube. So head on over to our YouTube page, Splash Pages Club, I think it is. And just go subscribe there, and we'll kick it over to Kari.
Hey, everybody. If you want to find me, go to Kari Sanders over on Facebook. That's me. If you see a crow as the avatar, you've got me. All of my links are there to my author page, to my stuff here on Splash Pages, also to my Owlite stuff. You'll find me on Owlite shows on Sundays and Mondays, and here on Tuesdays, and then some other shows I randomly am on. This coming Sunday, I am excited. We are going to have award-winning editor Ellen Datlow on. She makes a lot of those compilation books that you'll find with like the best horror of this time or whatever. And the one that we're going to be covering in particular this time around is Fears, Tales of Psychological Horror. The week after that, I have on Bridget Nelson and Jeff Strand, which is completely awesome as well. We've got some really good people coming on. Those are going to be the Clutch of Personalities. And we're also doing an entire season of Amityville Horribles on the Tomb of the Terrible, which is just Amityville movies that aren't part of the core thing. And we are going to be doing this Monday the last Amityville movie made, and it actually obviously isn't, or the last Amityville movie put out in 2023, but there are more out in production right now, so it obviously isn't the last Amityville movie. But yeah, come catch me on Owlite, see me here, go buy my books, they're fun. All right.
Awesome. Mr.
So I
Drew.
Yes, everybody, stay tuned for Tomb of the Terrible, where Amityville, how we tap the well dry in terms of creativity. Yeah, I'm Drew. I'm really tired, so that's why I'm laying down finally. So hey, must be the end of the show. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm sure Leo, thank you. Leo already has my credentials down there, and I don't know. I'm a lot of places that I'm doing stuff. So I don't know. You can hit me up. I might get back to you. I might not. Roll that dice. But thanks for staying with us. Good night.
Okay, with that, we'll catch you later. Bye.
Night, everybody.
Good night.